Greetings, fellow captains, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends with me, the Hive Hand. And today we are going to be ranking the top 10 legendary ships. Reason why I've decided to do this now, with the implementation of the latest legendary ships having to make you grind out the entire line up to tier 8 to get past the new gateways, this poses a big question of what ships are actually worth the grind to get to that top tier gameplay. So essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to give my top 3 picks for each class of ship that is worth the grind. Obviously this is a personal opinion and I'm quite happy to agree or disagree with you down below in the comments, but it's important to note how I rate the ships. I don't rate them by nation. I don't have a preference on any particular nation. Personal preference also goes out the window here. It's all about the utility and the ship's ability to actually win battles. So one-trick ponies, Shimikazes, your Khabarovsks, they're not going to get ranked very high or at all in my top 10 list because their ability to deal with multiple situations is weak. So let's dive on straight in and have a look at our destroyers. So first of all, ranked third is the Xarkun, the second best gunboat in the game, with its 627mm guns, 2.7 second reload in conjunction with its long range torpedoes and smoke, makes the Xarkun deadly to anyone unlucky enough to meet it. Its only real threat being the top 2 DDs and radar cruisers. I'd strongly suggest running Mordov with Swirsky and Sims. Make sure you take the Perceptive perk and focus on maxing out the ability of your main guns. At number 2 is also number 1. Honestly, you could toss a coin and I would agree that both of these ships are the best. So I can't really discern between the two. We've got, they're by far the 2 strongest destroyers in the game. The Z-52 with its 6km sonar has ridiculously good utility and team play, whereas in one-on-one situations, the Daring can outgun, outmaneuver and even close the gap enough to get into its own effective sonar range and win a one-on-one fight, despite it being detected the whole time. But if anyone else joins in, the Z-52 will win out. So, Daring, it has sonar, smoke, and heals. The best overall utility. I'd suggest playing it with Grom Smart if you've got him, Eric Bay and Sims. Make sure you take a Bernie Daka and rather be torching for a fatal combo of high HE fire chance, particularly against battleships. The AP from its 6 113mm main battery guns will absolutely ruin the day of any other destroyer. Mix it up, put a bit of rudder, a bit of concealment. It's still a pretty agile little boat, so as long as you don't roll up on a radar cruiser at under 8 kilometers, you should be pretty much okay to get away. And then, like I mentioned, its compadre at the number 1 spot is the Z-52. It has smoke, it has 6km sonar, so build this for its guns and agility. I don't have it at the moment, but I had it for a 2-week test, and with a little backup, it is the ultimate cap contester come DD Hunter. Although its torpedoes and guns are a little weak, they do leave a little bit to be desired. Its ability to control the map with that sonar makes it almost unstoppable if you've got any sort of backup. Moving along swiftly to cruisers. Coming in at number 3, Minotaur. Now, the Minotaur is not an easy ship to play. It does have a very high skill floor. The Minnow comes, which is why the Minnow comes in number 3. It has a sonar, smoke, which makes for, or radar, which makes for great utility. The radar makes it a threat to specifically DDs, with its particularly with its high DPM, but it's balanced by its really weak hull and is by it's the very definition of a glass cannon. So don't forget, it also has 10km torpedoes. I would suggest running Bruce Fraser or AL Chapayev for a DPM focused build with the Yamamoto and Von Essen for a smoke build. Or if you're going for radar, if you've got him, Hot Rod. If not, through it with Makawa and Swirsky for a radar build. You want to get your detection down as low as possible, get your agility up as high as possible, sneak in, stealth radar those DDs, kill them, get out. And that's our pick for number 3. At number 2, since its rework and the addition of HE, it's great guns, it's strong hull, its 11.7 kilometer radar makes this one particular ship very capable of dealing with almost every single situation, and that is none other than the Stalingrad. Personally, I'd run Ivan B. Lightful as a commander with Von Essen and Yamamoto to maximise that AP damage. And then we get to our number 1 pick. And to be honest with you, I couldn't pick a number 1. Unlike the DDs where there wasn't an obvious top 3 cruisers, this spot is going to be shared by the Alaska and the Des Moines. Both have radar, which make them extremely helpful for the team. The Alaska obviously being more survivable, and the Des Moines having ridiculous damage per minute. These two ships are fantastic, regardless of your playstyle. If you're more of a battleship player, pick the Alaska. The Alaska will undoubtedly suit you really well. If you prefer the light cruiser style, there's nothing that really competes with Des Moines at the tier. Then we're going to move swiftly on to our battleships. So the 3rd spot, probably an unlikely pick, because I believe this ship is criminally underrated for the tier. It has an outstandingly strong hull, 6 kilometer sonar, and it is a true tank of a battleship, able to sap up more damage than pretty much everything else out there. And if played right, it can truly give your team the edge. This is the Grosser Kurfürst. Let's not forget how fun it is to watch those secondaries go to work. Personally, I'd skip the optional 420mm guns, go with Hyde or I've forgotten his name now. Hyde or, oh my god, my brain hurts. Or Hipper. So there we go. And go for a hybrid build. I use Hyde with Hipper and Haruna for secondaries, and then I focus all my main skills onto the main guns, which will still give you, I think it's 9.7 or 10 kilometer secondary range, but retain some of the good main battery characteristics as well. Second is the Conqueror. With its super heal, its downright monstrous HE, and not to dismiss how strong the AP is on cruisers and broadside battleships, the crazy fire chance with the great gun angles, range, accuracy, Conqueror should absolutely never be taken lightly on the enemy team. I'd suggest running A.L. Nelson with Cunningham and DeRevel, or John Fisher. Focus more on buffing the accuracy and the speed, and that'll make this one of the best battleships out there. And picking up the number 1 spot, which until recently I really didn't think was going to be held by this nation, I'm not going to lie, the Ohio. The American battleship line felt absolutely punished at legendary tier, considering how good the tech tree lines are up to tier 7. The Montana and the Vermont, honestly, they're incredibly lackluster. But don't worry, American battleships fans, there is something still out there for you, which is the Ohio. Although it's not the fastest, it does have really, really good armour, backed up with reasonable speed, and probably the best guns at legendary tier, particularly when paired up with AL New Jersey, Lachino and Cunningham. It's the answer to what to do when stuck between a rock and a hard place. Just smash it all with the Ohio. fantastic ship. I do want to run a couple of quick honourable mentions in this section. I think, although they're not the best in class, there are definitely some ships that do deserve a solid nod because they are so good at what they do. So I believe they need a mention before I give my absolute top favourite legendary ship. Don't forget, drop your top favourite legendary ship in the comments below. I would love to know what you guys think as well. So, first honourable mention goes to the Khabarovsk. An absolutely terrible destroyer by every single metric. But equip this with a range and agile build, it makes for one of the best cruisers at the tier. But, of course, in that you are losing the utility of a destroyer, so your spotting and cap contesting does drop, but it is absolutely brilliant at what it does. Another honourable mention goes to the ZOW. It's a really capable ship, but it's forced into a more backline role where planning your next 2-3 salvos is needed. And if you get caught out of place because of the slow turret traverse, because of the not fantastic torpedo angles, if you get caught out, you're defenseless and you're probably going to get sunk really, really fast. And finally, for my honourable mentions, is the Schlieffen. The Schlieffen is so game dependent, it hurts. It genuinely does. In an aggressive game, there is nothing that can handle multiple close range targets quite like the Schlieffen. But with the majority of games being very standoffish, the Schlieffen rarely gets to be used to its fullest potential, which is why, unfortunately, it didn't rank in the top 3. And then, the ship to end all ships, and my personal favourite. The Shimakaze. Wait, what? Who do you think I am? No, it's not the Shimakaze. It is the Colombo. Don't let that number fool you, ladies and gentlemen. That 381 millimeters of the Colombo's guns. It has 16 of them, and they are absolutely devastating. Couple that with the 360-degree turret traverse, the 12-kilometer smoke firing penalty, and some pretty mean secondaries for some close quarters actions. It is simply unmatched by any other legendary tier battleship. It also has a great armour as well. I suggest going with A.L. Littorio, popping on Cunningham and Scharnhorst, and really focus on maxing out the accuracy of those 16 guns. And make them scream with as you absolutely obliterate anything daft enough to get in your range, particularly anything willing to go broadside. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is my quick rundown and breakdown of my top 10 legendary ships, plus my all-time favourite and a couple of little bonuses. I would love to know what your favourite ships are in the comments below, and we can have a chat about it. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, until next time, take care.